Hey, what's up, YouTube land? Thanks for tuning in. I decided to mute my audio here and do a voiceover because the wind was pretty brutal throughout the day. So sorry in advance for certain pockets of audio that suck. As I turn the camera, you'll notice Misog Shahidian. You've seen him from other videos. But today we're going to... Oh my God, look at that double chin. I'm pretty sure right here I'm announcing that I just had a kid. So for those that don't know me, I probably hit the range 2 to 3 times a week minimum. This is arguably the longest I've gone without touching a club. So the baby handicap, I'm arguing for strokes with Misog. His argument is, I have a kid too, but his is 7 months ahead. Anyway, I mention all that because it's not going to be pretty for some of these shots. But we're going to play a match. We decided to do a 6-hole match. And this is taking place at Pleasant Valley. We're playing the Blue Tees, which I think it's around 66-ish. Oh, God. Look at that. Not kidding. That's a shank. That's a cold shank off the tee. Hit the toe. Little cut fade shank. It's not a good start. And then you'll notice as well, we're actually starting on hole 4. I know the graphic says hole 3. I messed that up. Your boy's editing has gotten lazy when you have no sleep, thanks to the little kiddo. Anyway, so we decided to start on hole 4. We were going to do a 6-hole match. If you saw from the title, clearly this ends up being a 15-hole match because I won't say who wins or loses after 6. We agree to extend it. But anyway, the first 3 holes was also, I was curious to see how I would play. In knowing I haven't really touched the club, didn't have much range time, I was expecting just Shank City for the first 3, so it actually wasn't as bad as I thought. I know it didn't look like it on those first couple swings, but anyway, here we go. We have a putt for par after a crappy start, and not a bad putt, not a bad lag putt. So he gives that to me, and I'm in for bogey. This is now his bogey putting to have the hole. And one thing, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I am giving him strokes. I think it's 3 aside, and I'll try to call... Ooh. Good putt. He had to give it a run. But anyway, he's in for double, and I end up winning that hole. So I am giving him strokes, and I believe we agreed it was, I think for the original match of 6, I was going to give him, I think, 2 strokes. So I'll call them out. And then just another thing to point out, the little scorecards in the top left, right, the little scoring bar thing. You're going to notice +1 and -1. It doesn't mean that Misog's 1 under. This is strictly a match play match, so... -1 means he's down 1, +1 means up 1, so just make note of that as we go through, just for the sole purpose that someone may or may not be down 3 or more, and when you see 3 under, it might look misleading. But anyway, this is a par 5, and I believe I'm giving him a stroke here, so this is a really cool shot. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a split fairway, choose your own adventure. A little secret that I do, I just aim right down the middle because naturally my longer irons and clubs fade, so I expect it to cut over. And then if for some reason I do my little pull draw, pull hook miss, I'm still okay. I end up with a really, really good shot. If I remember correctly, this was like 90, 95 yards, have my 56 degree, and yikes, that is super short. You can't do that. The one thing that I noticed taking a break from golf and the baby cap, the short game, I know on hole 1, I had a really good lag putt, but the short game just doesn't feel great. It's like the first thing that I lost 100 in is just not feeling great, as you saw from that wedge. And then greenside and putting, short chips and putting also not a great look, as evident from that putt right there. I just sailed that a good 11, maybe 12 feet past. I now have a 12-footer for par, and that's on top of me giving him a stroke. So basically, he has 2 putts to win this. I almost conceded it, but, he's got to earn it, right? And that's a really good putt from him. So we end up, I end up giving that to him, and it is now all square. He won that hole, so we're back to even on the match. And then for anyone that's played Pleasant Valley, I hate this hole. I don't understand. It just mentally Fs with you. It's like an uphill blind tee shot, but for some reason, I don't know if it's obviously just me. I mean, or is it, But this tee shot just plays really tough. You have to have a good drive. It's not that long of a hole. I want to say it's like 400, maybe under 4, but it honestly feels like it's a 450 plus par 4. It's so hard. It has to be the elevation, but unless you're a long hitter, it's really hard to get good positioning here. So I hit a really, really good drive, and I still had like 180 out. That was a pushed 5-iron. Misog unfortunately tops one, but he has a really good recovery right there. I think he had a gap wedge, like 115-ish out. And then luckily, this is the start of me finding something with the short game a little bit. That was a really, really good short chip on that I'm happy with. So I have a putt for par. Misog also has a putt for par. So as you probably know in match play, it always comes down to putting. That's a really good lag putt for him. That's still a good like 6-7 feet, but from where he was, I mean, that could have been like a 80-footer plus, and you can see I went for it. I went for it. I wanted to win the hole, hit the lip. So I don't know what happens here, by the way. So, you know, we have the film of him about to putt, and he misses. For some weird reason, I don't know if Misog didn't hit the record button, but I didn't get my putt. I end up missing it, so he ends up winning the hole. And that's because I'm giving him a stroke on that hole, so it's the second one. And going back to the short game comments, if you think of that last hole, I had a missed gur, and then to top that off, I'm now 3-putting. So score adds up quickly, short game is gone. This is actually one of the cooler holes of Pleasant Valley. In my opinion, it might be the most memorable. During the summer, when it's peak conditions, it is gorgeous. It is, you know, the water's flowing, really luscious trees, and it's a really, really cool hole. And then the green's actually kind of tough depending where you are. So the pin placement's a little more back middle, so it's a lot more gettable. Sometimes they hide it near the bunker on the left side, but anyway, yeah, we have some good putts here. Actually, we don't have some good putts here. Yikes, Mies, you sailed that one. I left mine super short. He left. He pushed his really long. This is what you could say to not do on the putting green. This is not a putting clinic. Do not take notes. Good recovery there for Mies. So we end up going bogue again. For some reason, my putt was not on camera, but I do end up making it. So we push. He is still up one. I'm down one with 2 holes to play in our original 6-hole match. So this is another hole that's super tricky. The tee shot is very welcoming. You can't see it, but the trees on the left-hand side, it's really open over there. And then on the right-hand side, even though there's trees you don't want to be behind, it connects to, I think it's hole 3, the par 5, meaning you have a lot of places to miss. This is not one of them, but this is my... Oh my God, look, that's the shot of the day. I was contemplating where to punch. I said, let's go for it. I have a small window. And I end up hitting a really, really good one. Why I think this hole is so tough, and Misog said it's no big deal as he stripes this. It's an elevated shot, so you take extra club. You can see the bunkers there. There's a million bunkers protecting it, and it's a smaller green when it's the pin behind the bunkers. Misog stuffs one, and it's not a good look when I'm already down one with 2 holes to play. So there's my chip on. And I pretty much told myself, you know, I need this putt. Let's give it some gas. So you'll notice here that I put a really aggressive... Oh, you hate to see the rim job. How much do rim jobs cost? If I have to ask, probably just can't afford it. But yeah, that's a tough one. So he has 2 putts to win the entire match, and I wanted him to get that birdie. If I'm going to lose, I want to lose to birdies. He ends up with a 2-putt comfy par, and that's it. Okay, quick update. Misog just whooped my ass. He won 2-1, but we decided we're going to stretch this to a 9-hole match to give me a shot. So I am officially down 2 going into the 6th hole. I mean, come on. Did anyone actually think we were going to play 6 holes? Like, seriously. And just for some context, I actually like doing smaller matches because then I can turn a full round into a couple videos when I'm playing with people. So we were going to do a different format for the back 9, but again, since I got my ass whooped and I was like, there's no way I'm letting him win on that. So we decided to push it. And here's hole 9. This is arguably the most scoreable hole. You have to par or better this, in my opinion. I've seen some people, some long hitters, you can drive this green. It plays, I think it's under 300 yards. The downside today is that we were into the wind. So even if I was a long hitter, it's going to be a really, really tough one. I end up hitting a pretty good drive right into the middle of the fairway. I think I had, I remember using my gap wedge, so it was probably like 100 to 110 yards in. Misog had a really, really tough shot there. And by the way, his tee shot, it looked like it was OB. We thought it was. It ended up hanging on in the rough, so he hung on. Anyway, I have a comfy 2-putt par, and so Misog needs this par to save and have the hole, and there we go, baby. That's why we let it ride. Call me Wolverine. I'm clawing back. I'm down 1. Momentum's in my side, though, and we have the first hole of the back nine, and it's a really, really gettable par 5. For anyone who's played Pleasant Valley, I think you know that this hole, assuming that you have a pretty good tee shot, which it's a really open fairway, it's a pretty good chance to try and score. Unfortunately, me and Misog suck. He pull hooks left, and this is bad decision making on me. After I see that, I tell myself I'm going for the jugular. Let's go ahead and go for it. I take a 3-wood from the rough when there's absolutely no need for that. I could have taken like a pitching wedge and just push it forward. Obviously, it goes wet. We are water OB to the right. I end up dropping, I think I'm about 60, 65 yards out. I put one on the green. It's not tight, but at least we're putting. I have a putt for par. And this is a pretty cool shot from Mies. He ended up staying right out of the sand, so a pretty good shot. And look at that. From my point of view, he had, and we looked at it, he was like 2 millimeters from dunking that. It took a one hop and almost bounced in. That would have been a dagger. But anyway, he has a birdie putt coming, and I need him to miss. Yes, and he does. Sorry, Mies. I'm down. Needed you to miss that, but I now need to make my putt, and I really thought I had that one. I don't know if it's the wind or we're going to blame the baby cap, but I think he ends up winning that hole. I think he drains the putt. Again, I don't know what happened with my phone and my camera. We're just missing putts here, left and right. But you can now see I'm back down to going into a harder par 3. And this one was super tough. So Mies hit, we hit our irons about the same. He told me what club he used, and it sounded like he got it good. I decide to use a similar club, and I sailed it somehow. I don't know what happened. That was a really good chip that I'm happy with, but you're going to see me complain about the short game again in just a moment. So that was Misog's birdie putt to win. He's still away after that, and it's a tough green. For those that have ever played it, you know that's like a really, really hard place to miss. So here's my par putt to win the hole, and you hate to see it. The putter has been shaky. Again, it's just taking a little break off. You lose the feel in the hands and the greens, and poor Mies, you know, you love the quick reload there. I think he hit 2. He did hit a provisional. He ended up finding his first. I think the rough was so thick, it hung on, and I hit an absolute bomb, baby draw it down the middle. I know I complained about that other hole that was super, super hard as a par 4. This is probably up there, or maybe the second hardest. The tee box discrepancy between where we were playing and the next tees up, it's like over 100 yards, I think. So if you don't have like a 300-yard drive, this whole play is like 440, I think, 440, 450, but it's all uphill. So anyway, if you're not hitting at 300, you are going to struggle for this. I always play this as a bogey, as a good score. It doesn't help when you miss greens, so there's a pretty good chip. And for the love of God, Mark, make a putt, please. So here's Misog's par putt, and he's scrambling. He did a really good job scrambling this hole, and I think I end up giving that to him, so he's in for bogey. I need to make this putt to win the hole and claw back, and let's go, Mark. Good stroke there. We actually made a putt, and the flat stick might be back, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, we have another par 5. I think it's the last par 5 of the back 9. This one, it's weird because in theory this should be a lot easier. I think on paper, especially compared to hole 10, it's like a downhill slope. I think it's about the same distance, but it just plays really, really tough. In particular, your positioning on this shot, you have to favor the right-hand side. I've actually played it where, so that's going to look like a miss hit, but I always favor the right fairway, or right rough is actually completely fine too. Depending on where the pin is, where today it's tucked in the back left behind bunkers, but you're going to see here, I think I still, oh God, that's not good. I was going to say, I think I had like 210 yards and I was just aiming for front green. Let's go ahead and just take 50 yards off by shanking it forward, and this leaves me with, I think, like a 9-iron in. Look at where that pin is. It's tucked behind those bunkers. If you miss left, you're in the woods. If you miss long, you're in the woods. The smart play here is always just go middle green. But if your second shot is far enough right, it takes those bunkers out of play and you have a clear look into the green. Anyway, Misog hits a really good strike. He ends up in the sand, and geez, man, look at this guy. He's just a sand wizard. I don't think Misog will take offense to this, but he was never good in the sand, but he's been really, really sharp lately there. So I don't know what he did, Maybe we need to check him for PEDs. What did he take before this round? If I knew he was going to be hitting sand shots like that, there's no way I'm giving him strokes. Anyway, that was his par putt. Misog's in for bogey, and here's my chance to try and have it. Come on, flat stick, please. Please, please. Oh, God. Left it short. That's the one thing you hate to see. And then this is one of the top holes. It's a super short par 3, so you get really excited on the scorecard when you see like a 130, 135 yard par 3. Obviously, if it's going to be that short, it's a really tricky hole. So usually it's tucked. You'll see some bunkers there. There's a backside and front side bunker protecting the pin when it's tucked there. We got lucky today, and it was a front pin protected by nothing. Look at that. Very, very attackable, and obviously I tried to, but since I suck, I left it so short. And look at this. We said, Mark, give it a run. Oh, I don't know if you can hear it from the audio, but I clink it off the flag stick. I believe Mies gives it to me. It stayed within the putter length. It was in the leather, and that was to have the hole. So I end up getting one back with a par. He bogeys, and we are rolling. So if I'm going to win this match, that was actually a really, really big hole. And it makes this hole equally as big. So basically there's 4 holes left, and being down 1 with 4 to play versus 2 with 4 to play, world of a difference for all the match play players out there. So we're actually in pretty good shape. I think we're fine. Obviously there's a bunch of putts I wish I had back, but you know what? If you told me you're down 1 with 4 to play, I would take it. So this hole, there's actually a creek you can see there, and so you run out of fairway. But it's like 330 or something crazy like that. So for anyone who's maybe watching this and you're about to play or want to see what it looks like, it's just a driver hole, even though it looks like there's a creek in the way. We both end up missing. So I miss right, he misses short. We put some good strikes on it. And if it's not clear, the wind was really killing us. Hard to figure out distance, pushing it left, right. Did I mention, by the way, that I just had a kid, so the baby cap comes into play? Anyway, I do have a pretty good chip on in this, and I won't say good, but I chip it on, and that's like a 15-footer still for par, and I gotta let this yikes. Again, match play Mark, you'll notice a lot of my putts when I'm playing match play, they will sail and I go for it. And I don't think it's a bad thing. It's funny, match play aside, it's actually just a good thing in general to try and make more putts. So it's actually something I thought about, and for the next video that I'm going to upload, which I've already played, JP DePasso, you're going to enjoy our round. I actually hit a bunch of putts, so this round actually helped me shake the cobwebs off. But anyway, back to this match, since that's what we're viewing. I end up going driver OB, and it's such a 100% my fault. It's the mindset of, all right, you have 3 holes left. Let's make something happen. I wasn't going for the green. I know you can. So if you can hit it 280-ish, carry it 290, you can reach the green. I'm not saying I was going for the green, but if you can get it fairly close to that sand, or I don't mind the sand at all. So I was actually going for that sand bunker, which was like 250, 260. I don't mind trying to get up and down from there. Obviously, it goes into the water, as you can see in the background. I end up hitting a pretty good approach shot on. I had a putt for par, and yikes, that thing sailed on me. So here's Misog's par putt to win the hole, and I need him to miss if I want to stay alive. Gosh, there it is. And it's funny, there's this awkward, like, should I give that to him? Should I not? He just walks up like a man. What a big, strong man. Look at that guy. Great putt, Mies. Very confident. So now it's just my turn. I need to answer. We need to make 4. Yikes. The putter is gone. Again, a little rust, shaking it off, but those 4 footers, not to toot my own horn, but those are putts I think I make 9 times out of 10. Today it looks like I'm making them 1 time out of 10, and that's just expected. We'll pick it up, but anyway, being down 2 with 2 to play, that was a huge, huge putt. So I'm Dormy. I need to make something happen, and that's a pretty good drive to start it off. So Misog hit the fairway, but I don't know if he just hit a spinny one and the wind caught it, but he ended up being still pretty far. I think my drive was like 20, 30 yards past him, because I'm like such a long hitter out here. No, I think just his caught the wind, and I actually got some forward roll, got lucky. No. But it doesn't even matter if you're gonna pull hook it left into the rough. It doesn't even matter how far your drive is, and I can kind of see the match in the holes just slipping away from me as that chip shot, I needed to stick it tight, and I don't. So here's Misog. He has a chance, and you have to remember, since I'm dormy, a push is a win for him. He doesn't even need to get aggressive or do anything, but I need to make a play. So here's my putt, and I went for it, and that's GG's. Because I don't think Misog's going to two-putt from there, and if he does, I still have to make mine. It's a good roll, Mies. He got the flat stick going. So that's it. That's game. Game, set, match. He destroyed me, but
wow.
You know what? We still have one more hole to play. I think we agreed. So he officially wins. Wow. I think, what is it, like 3-1? Is that how it works? One hole left, up 3. Yeah, he's 3-1. Good match to him. I think the baby cap, obviously. Not touching a club and giving him the strokes he's a lot better than I think his handicap says. But kudos to him. He played solid. This is actually one of his better putting days. And it's funny. Look at the quick reload here. He's going to drop. The funny part is that shot actually stays in play. Dry. You're going to see in his next shot, it actually stayed dry. I can't imagine how many people have... Oh, God. You can see I'm probably just checked out. I just shanked that one into the sand. But it's funny. I was thinking to myself, how many people have ever had to play there? When Mies was looking for his ball, he said he found like 4 or 5 others. So he's not the only one to ever hit it out there. And here's a little bit of a, Mark, show off your hands. I was actually really happy with this sand shot. God, look at that. Textbook. Not as tight as we wanted, but for how crappy the short game's been, we will take that. Here's Misog's little 9-iron bump and run, puts him to within putting range. I will take a par here after a shitty hole. Oh. And we missed that. So anyway, just because this is for fun and the match is already over, I think I picked that up and I let him pick that up. We just move on. So that's the match. Hope you enjoyed. And this is going to become, so him and I agreed we're going to do like a best of 5 or best of 7. So I'm down 0-1, but don't worry. There will be more matches with this guy coming soon, and hope you enjoyed.